Hello, greetings. I'm back. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Today is August 7th, 2017. Happy full moon. I'm going to wait until more people come on. Hello, greetings. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Greetings, Tavon. How are you? I want to welcome everyone today. Today is Heal Up Philip. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. Hope all is well for everyone. Sending you lots of peace and blessings. Just having some difficulty just trying to get this phone on the I forget what you call it. Anyway, so I guess I'll have to just hold it with my hands, you know. Anyway, today I am doing this Facebook Live. So many reasons. I've been pulled as always to talk about quite a few things that's going on. Okay, Tavon, you did your Monday group. I didn't even remember you had one today. Manifestation, right? That's your manifestation thing. And so as always, there's so much stuff that's going on. And this month in August, there are so many things happening in terms of eclipses. Today is the full moon in Aquarius in my sign, Aquarius. That's right. Did you know that I'm Aquarius also? So let me introduce myself in case anyone's on here for the first time or you've just seen me and you just don't know who I am. I am Sharon and I am a spiritual empathic reader. I am here incarnated back on the planet to assist with the awakening and the ascension of the planet with others. And I also help people towards their own personal healing. Everyone is here for their own purposes, and it's for you to awaken yourself to your purpose and also to remember who you are. You know, it's a memory. I call it sort of like a mini memory lapse. So some people might say that you're learning something, but I prefer to use it in the way it's shown to me by the Holy Spirit, which is that we're all here to remember who we are. And we all have codes and messages within each other that once we come into contact with one another, you know, it's going to just keep igniting. And so what happened is that the universe, or as you want to call it, the cosmos, okay, because we are really actually ruled by the planet. So if one does not choose to want to understand or believe that, eventually it will come back to you and you will remember. And so it's important to pay attention to all the signs, the messages, things that you're experiencing. What is the experience telling you, so on and so forth. You're not just here to just get up, go to work, come home. You just do this and that, and that's it. There is more to what's happening than what meets the eye. So anyway, I made sure to write down all my notes of everything, because anybody who knows me very well, I will talk and talk and talk. Okay, I will talk for 8 hours, 9 hours. So I will be taking any questions. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like for me to discuss that I may not have discussed before, any questions that you might have, whether it's personal or anything, you can let me know. I do offer spiritual guidance with providing readings. And when I do my readings, that the reading is not just for me to tell you what I pick up on or anything like that. And I have a very high accuracy rate. Anybody who's had a reading from me will know I'm the real deal. And that reading that I do for you is not just where I'm just reading for you, but also helping you towards your own healing and what you're supposed to know. I also dive into your past life as well as with your present life and what is coming up for you, what there might be something for you to look at. Okay. So anyway, I want to, thank you so much. My accent. God bless you too, John. How are you today, John? Welcome to our Facebook Live to do it. What's happening now in the frequencies and energy. So anyway, today is the full moon in Aquarius, and I would love for this to be an interactive type of thing. And for me as an Aquarian, and for me as who I am, Sharon, anybody that knows me, when I am set to something that I choose, that's it. You know, I made up my mind. I don't like for anybody to put me in a box, and I do not treat anyone for them to be put in a box either. And so we're in a place and time now where it's not, I'm not conducting a revolution or a cult or anything like that. This is a soul evolution. You see what I'm saying? This is the time for change, and the change is happening. So as the Aquarius is an aspect of what we do collectively, and then and also thinking and doing things outside of the box, you know, and what that change means for you. What does freedom mean to you? You see, because this freedom is what we're heading back to, and that freedom, the freedom of what's occurring is where we place ourselves with who we choose to be in love with, who we choose to have a relationship. What is your view on relationships and the changes? Because you see, I am also a twin soul, a twin flame. So I have a twin flame and I have a divine complement. And that means that I'm here to change things as far as to help people to understand that these templates, you know, what twin flames are here for is not just for anchoring love on the earth, but how we are also bringing ourselves back to a space of not having condition placed on love, because it's not about being conditioned to who you choose to be, who you want to be in a relationship with. Also, the views of ourselves that we have on, with our bodies and things that we were taught growing up. And also, you know, sometimes people are in arranged marriages, and there's even some people right now that are in marriages and relationships that are not really real. They're not authentic. You know, there was someone that I did a reading for just this weekend. And, you know, I told her, I said, well, you know, something's happening where you're going to be with somebody new. And she's like, oh, no, but I'm happily married. I'm so in love. And I said, well, your concept and view of marriage is not what is happening here. So even some of us are in a place of believing and thinking that the relationship that we're in is perfect and healthy and wonderful, but there's things that go deep within the soul, things that we've gone through in past lives. That could be sexual traumas. It could even be where, especially if there's no connection, because if you don't have a connection with yourself, and if you don't even understand yourself, understand your body, or understand how you feel and think about the relationship that you're having, then how can you have a healthy or a connecting relationship with someone else? Because it all goes hand in hand. And so one of the things that I do want to talk about so much is especially what type of connection or relationship you do have, you know, that you do have with yourself. Because a lot of times people are in relationships that are so disconnected, or they're not paying attention. And also sometimes they focus so much on the other person, on what the other person may be doing, or they're so focused on what they want to do for the person and leaving themselves out, because everything has to come into a balance. You know, it's not just about what you can do for the person to make them happy, but it has to do with where you're placing yourself in this, and not catering to others. And also, you know, another aspect of this also is receiving, the receiving and giving mechanism. Because if one is giving too much for the other, and then the other one is not receiving, because too often people go into relationships where the other person is giving, and the other person doesn't even have any idea that they're not even allowing themselves to receive, you see. So we are, yes, Tavan, we are releasing so much conditions that we have that is so programmed in us when it comes to relationships. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of programming when it comes to these relationships. And this includes people who are of different age, you know, have differences in age, differences in color, differences in religious purposes, cultural backgrounds, what else again? Financial reasons. Sometimes people only want to marry somebody just for the money, and that's it. Or some people just want it for social status, or they want to please mommy and daddy because it's something that is, you know, passed down from one family to the next. Or sometimes people say marriage just for the sake of children. You know, saying married for the sake of children, at some point, it's like you're dying inside. Why allow yourself to continue in a situation that is not holding anymore? Because this is what's happening. I need to try to put the phone down because I want to show this in a descriptive way using my hands. So say you have something here that is like in a complete space of all the things that you're holding on to. at some point, everything is starting to unravel for almost every single person, okay, in their life, whether it's their relationship with them, themselves, relationship with someone, or even where they work. And all of the full moon, the eclipse is something that represents something that is ending to start something in beginning. There is no space in between all of this hardly anymore. So it's almost like whatever it is that you're holding on to, so some are holding on very tightly because of not wanting to change or to accept change in their lives, and not wanting to move on into something greater that the divine has for you. You see what I'm saying? Because you still want to keep on with the old customary ways of how you do things and how you view relationships. Now, I'm not saying any of this as a judgment. So I want you to understand that every person's path that they're on is different. So not everybody's path is the same. There are some of us who are here to ascend individually as ourselves, and there's some of us here that are ascending as twin souls and with divine complements, or just a twin soul and a divine. Either way, so most of us are heading onto a path of understanding your journey, because it's a prayer. You're welcome, Christina. How are you, Christina? And this is where it's for you to understand and remember that no matter what category that you have chosen before you incarnated here, this path, or anyone that comes into your life, where it's to activate, to trigger, to propel you, to get you to a place of remembering who you are, to clear all of the baggage that you have with stuff. And even after you clear, there's more clearing to do, and more clearing to do, and more stuff to do. And then it just keeps going on and on as a cycle. But as you do it, you continue to set yourself free. So we're moving on this path, another path of freedom. And we're doing this individually, and we're doing it collectively. We're doing it on both ends, okay? And when you're doing it, and while you're doing it, understand that you're going through ascension symptoms, the headaches, the eczema, the sleeping habits, as I've spoken about before, and other. There may be moments when you're going to sleep a lot, and then there's moments you're not going to sleep at all. And it's to surrender to all of this. There's so much surrendering that we're all going to have to do it. There's so much other people that I've spoken to when I've told them stuff that's happening, and there's a resistant energy. Excuse me, somebody interrupted me, sending me messages. And so there's a resistant energy that comes sometimes. And what will happen is that if you are resistant to whatever is happening in your life right now, because almost every soul that I'm feeling on this right now, whether it's in the now or later on when you view it, is going through something major in their life. And this is where the eclipse plays a role in all of this. So today is more like a lunar eclipse. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm only giving you this message and information based on what the spirit is showing to me. And there's so much chitter chatter that I hear almost every single day. So I at least wanted to get it out to whatever it is I'm supposed to share with you today in a different way. So the way how I talk and teach and everything, I am detailed. And peace and love to you too, Patty. And the way that I prefer to do this is that each person has their own understanding, that when I explain this to you, that even a child will understand. You know what I'm saying? I even said to someone yesterday, I said, if each and every one of you right now, I could ask you to type and tell me, what are you doing right now? Like really right now, besides this, what were you doing 10 minutes before I called? Did you do anything fun today? If whether it's raining or the sun is shining or whether I'm recommending a lot of you there who are adults, how about jumping off of the bed and shake off some of the energy and stuff that you're experiencing, even if you are angry today, sad today, happy today, whatever mood that you're in, because it makes a difference with what you also do while you're going through all these experiences. I recommend playing some music, dancing to shift things. Also some comedy and some jokes. Even if you have to be silly, do it. Anybody know me already to know, so I love to give jokes and I love to receive jokes. My children tell me how I act like I'm 13. You see what I'm saying? So you know that if they say that to me, that must be first because my youngest child is 13. And so that's why I don't look the way I look, and that's why I feel the way that I feel. That even if the moment that you get into that space of screaming, crying, getting mad, whatever, honor your feelings. Honor them. I will never tell you not to honor your feelings. And at the same time, then what you do is you allow yourself to bring yourself back up again. Okay? And even if you go back down again, and even if you have to cuss bad word, and even if, don't be yourself. Be yourself in all of this. And you don't have to understand all of it in one day either. Allow yourself to move through the shifts, to move through the energies. And remember this, that whatever experience you have that's repeating itself, and you know what I mean when I say repeating itself, it means that you went through something 2 months ago, and then it happened again. It's not because somebody's doing something bad to you or take it personal to whatever you're experiencing with that person or the event. Sometimes it's going to happen the way that it happens for you to look at it. What are you healing from it? Are you judging it? How are you seeing it from your perspective and the other person's perspective? Because we all see things from different eyes and different perspectives all the time, all the time. And so if you allow yourself to understand what is happening, question yourself. If you don't even know what it might be, then talk to someone who may understand, because sometimes 2 heads are better than 1, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. And that way now you allow yourself to be in greater peace with it. So be at peace with your feelings. That means you're honoring the feelings and being at peace with it. And you're also allowing yourself to understand what you're feeling, how you're feeling it, where's it coming from. Am I healing from the past life? Or am I healing something that I've experienced in this life? Is there something that God is trying to tell me that I'm resisting to it and it's repeating over and over again? What do I need to do? Also, I'm glad I remember this, because sometimes people say, oh, but I'm praying. Oh, I'm meditating. Thank you. Or I'm doing so and so and so, but still nothing's happening. Well, what do you need to do physically? Because you see, we're bringing more and more of ourselves, anchoring more of ourselves into the physical. All the things of who we are as a soul, we're bringing it into the physical world. We are now having the experiential aspect of what we know. You understand what I'm saying? It's an experience that we're having in the physical body, not to have any fear around it. Yes, I know that there's things that we've gone through in the past, which is another thing I want to address. Plenty. You know, that's plenty. That has to do with what especially our colored folks have experienced in the past, to do with slavery and bondage and all that stuff. And this is what I'm talking about with freedom. And I say this, whatever you are experiencing right now in your life, it's based on your thoughts and feelings. So if you don't like what you're experiencing, or even what you're seeing someone else is experiencing, change your thoughts about it. Change your thoughts about it. It really disturbs me very much, and I'm glad I remember to say it disturbs me when I hear people talk about wanting to get guns and teach people about guns. You got to arm yourself or protect yourself. The only arming you need to do is what you're doing to do with you, okay? And you're not arming yourself. You're not out to war. That's not what this awakening and ascension is about. We're not going out to any more wars. The wars and the battles and the devil's names that you use is within you. And whether or not you don't want to accept that's what it is, that's tough titties, because that's what it is. It's the battle you're having with yourself. And it doesn't have to be a battle. The sooner you accept and take responsibility that it's all coming from within you, and that you're not a victim. No one is a victim. We are all co-creating all of this in our reality. All of this. And so everything that we are doing and being is facilitating with the eclipse, the full moon. I don't business whether it's full moon, half moon, eclipse. It's an ongoing thing, and it's just going to keep going on and on. The frequencies are getting more and more powerful. And you know, for those who choose not to face themselves and to face what is being shown, what's happening is that it's going to start to feel more uncomfortable for you. It's going to feel more uncomfortable. It's going to feel like as if you're in a pressure cooker, which I still feel that is the top, but you know what? I don't resist it. I just look at it and say, oh Lord, here we go again. Okay, I'm okay with it. And then after some point or time, something works itself up and then it comes back again, because we can only take but so much at a time for what's happening within ourselves. And then what we're doing is that each moment that we're having it, we're shifting it by either burning it out. How do you burn out your frequencies? How do you release all the stuff that you're feeling. Do you cry and let it out? Because that's a part of the alchemy. When you're crying, screaming, shouting, laughing, that laughter helps a lot to clear. And making love, that helps to clear and alchemize as well. Plus you're taking in stuff and you're releasing stuff, and then you're bringing yourself back into another level again, because we'll keep going up levels and then sometimes we'll descend again. That's the part of the biblical reference to us, the Jacob's ladder. We ascend and we descend. We ascend. That's what it's like. It's almost like a seesaw. And the way how Spirit shows it to me, which is a part for those who know about this, the sacred geometry. Yes, it gets easier. Ikuna, you know, I can't pronounce your name properly. If I haven't, forgive me, please. Okay. But anyway, maybe I better call you Anna instead. How are you, darling? Yes, it'll get easier as we get to 0 point. But you know what I'm realizing? That there are several 0 points. That's right. When I say several 0 points, there's a point where we get to 0 point and then we go back into another level again, because, you know, it's like right now I function multidimensionally. So I'm here in the 3rd dimension, but I'm also in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. It goes all the way up. And then it's like, it's almost like thinking of somebody having tentacles. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I have the ability to do now like 5, 6, 7 things one time. It just goes on and on and on. And it is the truth, you know? And we're heading back to this place with where there's also things facilitating, especially for twin souls, where we're communicating telepathically. I mean, more and more we're communicating telepathically. Also, we are shifting things more with understanding and healing more with our feminine and masculine parts of ourselves, because, you know, as we're working on these things in the inner, it starts to reflect on the outer. You see what I'm saying? And so what I know as far as what Spirit is showing me to do with the feminine energy. Now, the feminine energy, please bear in mind, the feminine energy is both in anyone who occupies the male body and the female body. So here's another thing that we're shown to, because everything that I'm talking to you about this evening here is based on people or anyone that I'm interacting with almost on a daily basis. Okay. And so when I'm experiencing it, I'm to speak about it, because you might be experiencing it too. And if you are, you know, let me know, because it's good to share, because sometimes we may never know who we might be able to help with what they're experiencing and going through. Remember, once again, not everyone is going through the same exact thing, but we may be going through on similar paths. Okay. And so with the feminine energy, one of the things that I notice is that there's a lot of us that have an issue when it comes to receiving. Always giving, and not allowing ourselves to receive. The feminine receives. The feminine also connects to the divine and connects to life, connects to nature, the intuitiveness. That means that when you have that moment of feeling something, you trust it and you allow yourself to move through it to what you're receiving. Okay. And also in the receiving mode, that means that if you have been doing something for a very long time, okay, where that means that especially a lot of people who are helping others with their spiritual work and you're providing services, take the time to know when to set boundaries, okay? Setting boundaries, learning to say no. That seems to be one of the most difficult things that I notice with a lot of people, is learning to say no. Or if they're a teacher, or if they're always in contact with a lot of people, that it's difficult for them to know when to stop. And also if someone is offering them something, to receive that and to move with it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you keep on keeping on that same way, then what will happen is you'll have resentment. You'll have some resentment, and you'll also start to feel like you're what do I say? Like, it's almost like to a point where you feel like you're not getting anything out of it. It will start to build up after a while, you see. And this is why everything to what we're doing and to what's happening is about how to bring things into balance. So that means you know when to pay attention to the signs all the time. What numbers have you been seeing lately? You know what numbers I saw a lot today? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, all over the place. 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. What does it mean? Do you notice it? Do you notice a song or something that the divine is speaking to you, or your twin might be messaging you with that? I got a beautiful sign from my twin yesterday in my divine, where it says roses for you, roses or something like that. You know, do you pay attention to it? Because a lot of times we think that it's only if we see something physically or receive something, that's, you know, that's all there is. No, sometimes there's things that we're going to also have guidance to based on a message. What are the dreams that you've been having lately? What are the messages that you're receiving that you are doing to work on things within yourself and the connection you have to that person? What have you experienced with someone in a past life? Perhaps that's what it is. And you have some anger or resentment that comes up with the person, and you may not even know where it's coming from. All of this is a part of what's facilitating your healing, and a part of your awakening, and a part of your ascension, okay, on so many levels. If you feel like you have things that are always going on inside of you, write it down. Start recording it so you can go back and refer to it. I think that it's essential, because I do that, because you know what? 9 times out of 10, you may have received a message or watched a movie or heard a song, and you go back again and there's another message. You see what I'm saying? Or there's something more, because when you are ascending, and as you clear and you start to go up more in consciousness, because that's what it is. It's like you're taking a trip back to yourself in consciousness. You forgot yourself, who you are, why you descended into this 3D body, this flesh. And now we're rewinding back to remember who you are as you continue to go higher and higher in consciousness, and remembering more of who you are, and you're not in this forgetfulness. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, you see 333. Yes, the 333. And at the time when you see the numbers, whatever you're thinking about, or whatever it is that you experience at that moment, then you know that you're to look up the number to see what message you get. And sometimes you end up doing it, like I said, more than one time. Sometimes you'll end up seeing it more than one time. Okay. So now another thing I wanted to talk about, as I was telling you before, because I know I'm all over the place, but Spirit has reminded me to go back to the change and the shift with the slavery mentality and the slavery thoughts and all these things. And I say slavery thoughts because what I can say is you honor and remember what you've gone through, what our ancestors have gone through. But you don't need to dwell on it every single day. Why watch movies of violence or movies that still keep talking about slavery to get you angry again? We're not taking any of that to the new earth. We're not taking guns, knives, weapons. It's just not happening. I'm telling you the truth. So anybody who seems to want to think that that's so, then I have to break the wonderful news to you. No, it's not. Because this is where peace will reign on the earth. Seriously. You see, so it's until each person, you know, it's like there's that theory, the monkey theory effect. As one person gets it, the next person gets it, and the next person, and the next person, and the next person. So all the controversy that goes behind black, white, whatever color you are, or whether somebody is choosing to love someone of the same sex, or if they change their sex and they want to be... It's none of your business. Stay in your lane. Work on what's happening with you and ask yourself, why do I react and feel the way I do about that? Because it's something you're judging, and it has to do with you. Because either you've experienced it before in a lifetime, okay? And therefore, if it's affecting you, then that means it's something that you're working on to heal. And that's what it is. That's what it means. You see, because each time that there's something that when you know that you are healing, because you don't just become healed just like that. There's going to be a constant process of healing. It's ongoing, whether you're with your twin or not. Okay. Listen again, whether you're with your twin or not, it's ongoing. So even if you're living with your twin, you're still working on things. It don't end just like that. No, darling. No, it does not. It continues. And so, yes, thank you, Tavan. Yes, Iyuki, it is unity consciousness. That's what this is, unity consciousness. And the other thing, too, as me as an Aquarian, is like, guess what? I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. It gets to be so boring. Aren't you all bored with the same shit all the time? Isn't it time that Someone starts somewhere. Well, guess what? I'm one of the starters. I'm a head starter. Tavon is a head starter too, right, Tavon? And a lot of us here are head starters, okay? And the ones who really staying in their truth, because that is what the like I said, this is not about a revolution. It's an evolution, okay? I don't know if you hear the song in the background. Can you hear the song in the background? Let me play it for you louder so you can hear. We're in an illusion. It's just an illusion where we are right now. And so this is about how we are looking past what we see in the physical and also combine what is happening in your spiritual aspect in conjunction and together in the spiritual, bringing both worlds together. The veil is getting thinner and thinner. Some of you, if you don't know what the veil is, it's something, it's almost like having a cloud over your eyes. I know a lot of us on here are being separated from people that we love, people that we know, even and including who we live with, family members and so on. So I know that this is a part of the process. It just doesn't feel right anymore. If something doesn't feel right for you anymore, why do you bother to work yourself up over it? It's okay. You see, because a part of this unity consciousness, what's happening is that we're heading back to sovereignty, okay? Free to be who we are. And at the same time, we are honoring each other for our similarities and our differences. You see? Similarities and our differences. And so this unity consciousness is what is anchoring on the planet. You see, because the earth is already ascending more and more and more. I mean, it's ascending more and more. And right now we're in the energy and the frequency of Sirius, the planet Sirius. And I'm not talking Serious, it's Sirius, okay? That's the planet where I came from. I already know, said me never come from. No, I came from more than just Jamaica. I came from Sirius, okay? And so from that facilitates this lion gate. The lion gate, that portal that opens to Mars, which those numbers add up to a number 8 when you put it all together. Always bring the number back to a single digit. 8 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1 plus 7. Okay? So it's like I'm having a mathematics class here also. But it's all energy. All of us is based on energy, numbers, colors, symbols. That's the true language of the soul. And so the lion gate portal is, I would put it to you in the way how Spirit is showing it to me now. It's like energy and frequency of the lion that represents the heart, family. Your soul family is reconnecting to your soul family. It's not just about your blood family, okay? And anyone who I say that if they sing your number like 777s, 717, 17 sevens, that's a part of the soul frequency. Okay, so when you see it, that is kind of giving you a hint that something is coming together with your soul, because you know a lot of us have been going through the fragmentation of our soul. That's how we started out whole in the beginning, and then all of a sudden we start to fragment into pieces, and that's where the separation, duality consciousness started to happen. That's the part of the Bible that talks about how we fell from grace. It's nothing bad. It's just a concept. It's just a label. It's just a description of what happened, descending, okay? The falling, descending in consciousness. And as we start to come back together again, you know, like we say, come back again, we come back together again. The parts and the fragments of ourselves are starting to come back together again, to come back into that wholeness, right? You know, it's like you have a beginning, then you have an ending, and then you come back and you have a beginning again. So we're coming back into a new beginning, a new aspect of ourselves. Being authentic. What is authenticism to you? How are you when you're authentic? I want you to all start telling me, what is your representation of authenticity? Are you in a place where it's easy for you to tell someone how you feel, or do you hold back? Are you afraid to hurt their feelings, or you rather hurt your own feelings? What is authenticity to you? And being real and keeping it real. What is that to you? I want to hear from some of you. What is it? Yes, Coming full circle too as well. That's a part of being yeah, coming, well, I guess you're saying coming full circle. Hello, Anne-Marie. How are you, darling? Nice to have you on. I'm so glad that you see how spirit moves when we just bumped into each other and seen you since high school. That's right. That's right. You see, that means that if I know you since high school, all the ones who know me from high school, look at how we're reconnected again from how many years ago, and we're still here again, right? And you know, it's like I had said to my ex-husband at the time, I said, this is the new version of me, and it's still me, but it's a greater, grander version of me. And it still keeps getting greater and greater within me, no matter what I'm experiencing in my life right now. And this is a personal freedom for me. And it's powerful for me, extremely powerful. And it feels great. And it's when you're at a point where nothing anybody says, nothing anybody does affects you. That is a part of what it is where we're recreating based on our own consciousness. You see that? Yes, Yvonne, being all that I am all of the time. Yes, and then some in a bag of chips. And it doesn't even matter what anybody else thinks about you. It never matters what anybody else thinks of you. All that matters is what and how or what you think of yourself. Love yourself. Self-love. What do you do? What has anyone done lately for themselves as far as self-love? I want you all to type and tell me what now. What have you done within the past 24 to 48 hours to express true self-love for yourselves? That's what I'd like to know. What do you do to show yourself how much you love yourself? And if it's anything personal, you can inbox me. It doesn't matter what. Okay, something you've done personally, because let me tell you something. I say, if you do something that makes you feel good and it's not hurting nobody, then do it. You don't need anybody else's approval or permission, because you know one of the regrets that human beings always have is that they had an opportunity to do something that they love to do, like to do, could have done, would have done, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Nobody else can do it for you but you. No one else can live for you but you. Because it's you that is walking your path. You know, they're saying is he that walk in my moccasins. If you're not walking, if you don't have the whole story, like I said, to do it myself, that's right. That's right. Wonderful sex. If you didn't walk my path, don't tell me anything. Don't say anything to me if you didn't walk my walk. If you didn't feel what I was feeling. You see what I'm saying? Authenticity, you said, Amory, is being comfortable in your own skin. That's right, aging a lot. So that means that when they give you the message to do it, the baby thing, that don't matter what age, right? That's right. That's right. Because age is just a number. That's another programming too, you know, for us to let go of is age. Because people often get so wound up and say, oh, I'm too old for that. No, I can't do that. No. You're never too old to do anything. You're never too old to feel. You're never too old. You are a loving being created by the divine, perfect and imperfect, just the way that you are. Do you see what I'm saying? The only person that is limited and limiting themselves is you. Only you. No one else but you. You know, so it's you. You can change and make that choice and shift it in an instant. In an instant. Okay? That's what you went to yoga in the park because it felt so good to be. Oh, yes, it does. It does feel great to be in nature. That's another thing, too, I wanted to mention is that a lot of the frequencies that are coming through and everyone is receiving it, whether you like it or not. You can't stop it. And while you're experiencing, whether you're conscious of it or not, too, is happening. And some are feeling floaty. I had my beautician told me she was feeling very floaty and like she's here and you're talking. And some of us are not even able to get words out. If you can't, that's okay. That's a part of it, because eventually we will not be verbalizing so much with words. It's going to be feeling. So I wanted to even bring in that part of that feeling mechanism, coming back to the heart center, the heart space. Staying out of your mind only and the chitter chatter and creating stories, because a lot like to keep creating stories of, oh, but then this one is doing this and that one did this to me. And what if this happens? And stop going into the future and stay in your present, stay in the present moment, stay in the present that God is giving to you and what's happening right now. And stop projecting into the future and projecting that this person is going to do this to me and this one did this 2 weeks ago. Even if something happened 2 weeks ago and the person say, hey, you want to do so, don't start going back into the past, because this is how you stay stuck. And start moving yourself in every aspect, mind, body, and soul. Okay? You're going on hikes every day. I need to be. Yes. I think it's so important to be in Mother Gaia's energy, and that includes grounding yourself in the earth. Okay, so I haven't been able to do it for 2-3 days because we've had a lot of rain in New York now. It's like we're having fall. And what I recommend is, if you're not able to go out in nature, it's so important to connect to nature right now. And I'm telling you, and for both guys and girls, both, not just one. And the reason I say this is because Mother energy had been dormant for so long. Yes, we know the earth exists. Yes, we know that we have the air, the water, and the sun. You see, go out in the sun and allow the rays of the sun to bless you, to shine upon you. You know, it's all of that, and that's who I was in a past life. That's why you think they had the pictures of me going up on the balcony, and the sun rays were coming through to me, and I was getting divine codes. Well, the same thing happened. And we're able to heal ourselves through the sun, heal yourself through the water, heal yourself through the air, the grass, all of that. Make the time and stop making excuses and saying, I'm too busy for this and too busy for that. And then you just get up and just get more miserable and tired, because anything that's missing from not connecting to the divine, that's why a part of you starts to feel like something is missing from you. And why people sometimes feel disconnected from the love of God, because you're not allowing yourself to attune to the love of God by connecting with yourself. If you choose to want to have the best relationship, to have the best love life you could ever have, and be the love of your life and allow that love to flow through you, that means that you take the time to stop and ask yourself, how am I being loving to myself? How am I connecting to myself? How am I allowing myself to feel? How am I connecting to Mother God and what gifts is also transcending through to me? Do you see what I'm saying? Mother God wants us all to be in love. We're not supposed to be lonely. We're not supposed to be feeling sorry. 99% of most people are not even understanding the true mechanisms of being in love. Really? You see how high that is? I've asked this question so many times, and I asked it so many times, you know, all of you, any of you who know that I'm doing the audio about the return of the Garden of Eden. What do you think that title means? What do you think the Garden of Eden is? It's not a place to go. It's right where you are. But if you want to recreate a Garden of Eden, you have all the permission in the world to do that. It's a place that you create and recreate and recreate and recreate based on how much you are allowing yourself to receive, putting yourself in a position like a chess piece. You know how many times people have turned love away from themselves just because they were so busy judging what it was, how love should be, where should it start from, how you could meet someone. All of these different paradigms and things is what's breaking down in relationships and template, okay? What and how you should meet someone, where you should meet someone. Oh, they might not like me, or just not loving yourself for who you are. You negate it. You know, it's so much different negation. Oh, I'm too old to meet anyone. I'm too old to have a baby. I'm too old to have, you know, to be happy. Really, people think they're too old to be happy. They think happiness should only be at up to a certain age, and then you should know how to keep it quiet, you know. And that's so sad, because that is where the missing comes in. And of course, it's not everyone has to have a baby either, and it's not everyone that has to be married, okay? I look at it more as what connection you're making to yourself and what you're creating, because this is what we're doing. We're recreating, and we're coming into creation, that divine creation. We are co-creating. Whether you're co-creating with your twin or your divine complement, or you're co-creating through and with something or somehow from within you, because all of this co-creation comes from all here. Do you know where all this, that's all your, this part of your chakra is in my solar plexus has been on fire. Not literally, but it's been on. I got interrupted again, my pardons. And so this part of our solar plexus is what starts out with some part of the creation, and this is also that opening, that energy. How many of you have been feeling your solar plexus in action? Because I know a lot of times that when something's happening with me or whoever I contact, that there's something happening with them too. And a part of this is what is cycling in now, as far as the shifts and the power that comes with the courage that we have with who we are and being authentic, and the feeling, the love energy. Yes, Tavon, the love energy and being as courageous as the lion that is within you, because I know they said that all of us have a lion in our chart, excuse me. And you ask yourself, what can I do now for myself, and who can I be now with the courage that I have to do what I need to do for me, that I know can bring me joy or bring me blissfulness, even higher than that. Because you know that there's different levels. You have happy, joy, and blissfulness. What do you choose? What are you choosing today? Ground yourself in the earth. Allow yourself to take some Epsom salt baths that I recommend a lot, especially if you're interacting with a lot of people on a daily basis, no matter what category that it is, even if you're a reader, an accountant, a doctor, a nurse, you know, there's a lot of energy. Take the time for yourself to do that. You'll be amazed at what that will do for you. It's important to get the sea salt baths and to do that, because it's going to feel more intense, and it may feel like you know, for some it's like you feel agitated, and sometimes I get annoyed, or I might feel frustrated, and all of this is the process of what we're going through as far as our ascension. And know that it's temporary, and that it's you know, usually may not last for maybe 24 hours. And there may be moments of anger that we're also releasing, okay? Some of us are releasing abandonment issues, okay? There may be abandonment issues you're releasing to do with abandonment, to do with your mother. You know, what is the relationship like with your mother? That's another thing that's also happening very collectively right now. Issues to do with the mother. And it's also to do with nurturing, but not only just the nurturing aspect of the mother, but also forgiveness, you know, the forgiveness aspect, you know, to do with the abandonment. Or if you had a mother that you were expressing things that you were feeling, and your mother never listened to you. Or there's some people in families where they had mothers and fathers where there's always arguments. You don't know what it's like to be in a family where there's love, there's bickering and arguing and all these things, and it gets to you. And sometimes what happens, the cycle shifts where you've gone through an experience with your family where they're disconnected, and then you're trying to connect your own family, and then you're doing too much. You know, it's just different categories of things that happen here with what we are shifting and changing. So it's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, a lot of movement that is happening with each and every one of us. The key important ingredient, Spirit is telling me to point out again, is authenticity. Keeping it real. Be true to you. Stand up for yourselves. Whoever you know who you are that are not standing up for yourself. I feel like about 3 of you in here, I'm already picking up on it, that are not standing up for yourself. One of you feels like you're not standing up for yourself at a job. You're at a job where you're being taken advantage of constantly. It feels like a female. And you are tired and disgusted, but you're not saying anything. You're not speaking up, you know. And it's also time to get the heck out of Dodge also. Okay? Time for a change. It's time for a change for a lot of you. You never know what might be on the other side of the bridge. You see? You remember Dorothy? Dorothy said, "Oh, it's you. Okay, honey, get out of Dodge." You know what Dorothy said? They didn't really say it in the movie. She says, "You mean all this time, all I had to do was click my fucking heels?" Yeah, Dorothy, that's all you had to do. All you have to do is click your heels. And you're home. We all desire to go home. We all desire to be home. And I'm not talking leaving home that you have to die and leave out of your body. Home is where the heart is. Your heart center. That's what these energies represent with the lion. What is your heart telling you? Feel with your heart also, and not just with your mind, because a lot of, allow the mind to just chitter and say, no, don't do that. No, that's it. And that's where the ego comes in, you know. So a lot of where the ego is disintegrating and disintegrating and disintegrating and disintegrating. And now it's time to follow your heart. Follow your heart, because your heart knows. Your heart knows what it is to feel. And we are now connecting to the heart consciousness of God. Okay? That's even bigger. I'm talking about the universal consciousness. And it's just expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. You see, this is like a heart awakening that's happening. That's why the eclipse is playing a role in this right now, where whether you like it or not, if you don't make your choice and your decision to change what you know in your heart, because nobody's stupid. You already know and feel you've been getting the messages that it's time to make that change, right? Because you're being guided. And stop worrying about what's at the end of the other side, whether it's the other end of the tunnel, or I don't want to open that door because I don't know what's going to come out and get me. Nothing is going to get you, okay? Nothing is going to attack you or hurt you, okay? It's only because one of the main things when it comes to human beings is that there's a fear of the unknown, a fear of what's going to happen, a fear of being disappointed, a fear of what if I'm making the wrong choice, or whatever, just going ahead projecting the stories, more and more stories. No more stories. No more stories. Because if you don't do it for yourself, like I keep saying it to anyone that I'm in contact with, is that it's going to be done for you. It's going to be done for you. You see? So does anyone have any other topic you'd like for me to talk about, or any questions you might have? I will do any mini readings for anyone that would like or have any questions you would like for me to address while I'm feeling good right now. Just please, ask me right now while I'm here. Anything at all. Do not be afraid. Do not be shy. Okay. I think most of the time when some of the things that we've gone through, somebody else has gone through it too, and always think that whatever you've gone through or experienced, somebody probably has it worse than you do. So just know that no matter what you see in front of you, we are all on path. We're all on purpose. We're all on purpose. And that no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, it's still divine. It's still perfect. And, just don't judge yourself. Twin flame connection timeline. Okay. In what way, Tavan, the twin flame connection timeline, when she's going to be with him, meet him, because remember what I feel with her is that there's something for her to stop worrying about who he's with. Stop worrying about who he's with, because the way Spirit is showing to me is like she has an attachment to who he's with, what he's doing. And I feel the sooner she releases that and also focus on her own self-love. And, because one of the things that mirrors that, with twin, I think it's good that I go into some twin flame talk now, because I don't do that too often, is that if she's constantly doing for others and she's not allowing herself to be in the receptive mode and receiving, then guess what? It's going to reflect through him. It's going to reflect through him. So when she starts to shift how, and come more into balance with her receiving mode and receiving, then I feel like it kind of loosens up, because it's almost like you see, how do you call it? Like you're on a seesaw. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. And at some point you want things to come into the middle, because no matter what's going to happen when it comes to twins, it's going to still come back to itself, because it's like a rubber band. I can feel it within my soul, the connection that I have to my twin and my divine complement. I could feel it. You can't separate it. It's just there. So then why have fear around it? So now when I look and feel into a timeline of when she's really working on herself with these shifts, and I really feel like she feels brand new again. I'm even hearing for her to start putting her hair up, because I talk about women. It's so important sometimes to elevate wear your crown. Step into your authority. Step into your goddess, okay? And be bold. Be bold. And be courageous. Because, there's no such thing as not, you can still be as courageous as you are as a female, just as much as a male can be just as delicate and dainty as a female. It doesn't have to be that, as a matter of fact, I was even saying, I was picking out colors with something that says, who said that pink is just for girls? I love when men wear pink. I think it's sexy and I think it's beautiful, just as much as if a female wears blue. So, step, you know, tell her to step into her goddess and empowering herself and making room and time for herself. Sometimes some of us are so used to constantly doing things that we don't even allow ourselves to just not do anything at all. How about just getting up and stare at the wall sometime? I had a hard time with doing that too, because I always wanted to constantly be busy, constantly be busy. And then me doing that, guess what? My twin does the same thing too. It's like they're busy, always working. And sometimes we have to take the time, you don't have to, but it's a choice, to really stop that whatever it is we're looking at what or how we're feeling affected, and then say, how can I shift and change that within myself? And then it'll start to reflect, because the female always starts it out first. When I started out recording my book, the one thing the Holy Spirit revealed to me, the queens must rise first. She must rise first. And then the king, that king energy, that king, it's right there. It's not the other way around. And we're doing things together in partnership, okay? And that includes how we're thinking and feeling. It really does line up together. It really does. So I hope that will help her. But I really feel like all of that shift that she's working through even from the time that this eclipse is beginning. But I think the part of the eclipse that's going to affect her the most, it feels like the solar eclipse, the one that's happening towards the end of the month. And then I feel like during the fall, when the fall comes in, I feel like that's when she's going to start shifting more things physically in her reality, as well as consciously with how she's feeling and thinking. So I hope that helps. Okay, Yuka, what's going on with your root chakra? Yeah, you have a lot of fear down there. And what I'm hearing is, okay, because I'm seeing a lot of red, okay? And I feel like you're closed off. And there's some things for you to work on when it comes to sacred sexuality and how you feel about it and your view about it. And I feel that's stemming from your family background, your family traits, okay? So the question you have to ask yourself, how do you feel about sacred sex? How do you feel about masturbation? How do you feel about being open to your goddess center and your womb? And I feel like a lot of things had changed for you, especially after you had a child. And it's almost like as if everything just shut down. Everything just closed off. Okay? And so I feel like there's a part of you to allow yourself to explore and to understand the essence of who you are as a female. How do you feel about your yoni? How much you can heal with it? Bring flowers into your bath and all that stuff and pamper yourself with that. And just put your hand around your womb area and say that, you know what, I am free to feel and express love in my center, right in my womb space. And that I can understand now and feel this pure love that's returning into my center, okay? So that's what makes me feel like you're closed off to it, or you try to avoid it. So don't avoid it anymore. Allow your own, it's like another thing that I talk about in the book is, what is sexual freedom to you? When I say to you, I'm talking about like to others, And see, so the uterine fibroids then has to do with the part of the block. That's where I see the block. And I feel that what you can do is get some pink flowers. Get something, I'm seeing pink. And tell yourself that you're free. That you're free to feel love. Because I feel that you have not had a pure essence feeling of being made love to, or feeling love, or do you understand what I'm saying? That's how it makes me feel. And so what happens is the subconscious mind is now bringing into your physical body that, well, I don't feel love. I don't know what it's like to have to make love in its purity, where it's not. It's like, to me, it feels like whenever you've had sex before, it's only like, okay, I'm just having sex, and that's it. It's like you're not feeling a connection to it. You're not turned on to an ecstatic capacity. Do you see what I'm saying? So then we create these blockages that happens in our bodies and not connecting to our bodies. Because, remember, when we are also changing in the act of making love, that it's not just about the lower part of the body. It's also connecting your entire body, What does sex mean to you when you're feeling it in your sacred sex and that energy from your heart, or when it comes to your crown, when you're feeling that, actually, when you're feeling all of that, those codes coming in, and the intenseness that comes in with it, just a different type of frequency, you see. So if I was you, look up more, do more research, Spirit says, on sacred sexuality and what it means. So that way, I feel it's time for you to say some affirmations that I am free to feel and express true divine love. I am free to express and to feel what it is like to have a true orgasm, a full sacred orgasm. You understand what I'm saying? And look that up and see how it will help you to shift even more, because I did notice too. Thank you for bringing that on. Thank you for discussing this openly and freely. I appreciate you for doing that. I really do. Because another thing that's happening is that there is a lot of root chakra healing happening with quite many of us, but we're having it in different ways. And one of the things that I know is that the sexual energy is increasing more and more and more also, but it's still clearing up things that we've experienced in past lives, especially. So that way, what it does is that it's opening the doors for a better sexual connection experiences that we're having with our true love. Because remember, everything that you hear me talking about on here to do with making love and what it does for you, that's the highest attainment, the highest level to reach to God, is that this is happening with your true love, not with just for sexual gratification. This is with your true love. And more than half the people on the planet have not had that experience to even understand, to know what that is. And so that's something that I'm going to discuss even just separately on another, in another time. But, it's important to clear the blocks first so you can have the fullness of that experience and the trueness of that experience. Because most people think that what they're having with sex, like, oh, I have an orgasm, I feel good. Yes, but guess what? It goes beyond that. And the average person doesn't even know that. They think that they're having the feeling, but they're not. Because I'm telling you, as we continue to ascend on this earth, one of the things that I experienced already, which I was supposed to, which I did, is being in love with someone else. Being in love with someone else, not necessarily because I'm going to go and have sex with them, but it's like we're going to all be in love with each other. And when I say in love with each other, I seriously mean it. Like when you're in love with someone, that's what we're heading back to on the planet. That's why I said we're not going to have guns and knives and weapons and all that shit. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because to me, I think about this. Why create something that hurts others if it causes more chaos and play? It doesn't make any sense. That's common sense. Common sense, And then there's fear that goes behind it, and then it starts to happen, and then the cycle continues. We are not going to be going into a thing where we're going to be repeating the same cycle of hatred, anger, killing, harming, hurting one another. It's just not going to happen. Sorry. So that's all I'm saying. So we're going to be at a place like how it's shown to me on the other side, where we're going to be in love with each other. Everything, we're going to be at peace. And that frequency that we're carrying with all of that is what's going to have everything come into creation without physically doing anything. Imagine what that's like. How many of you are imagining this with me? Where we're returning golden and everything turns to gold. That is what comes from the central sun. That's the true gift. That's the true kingdom that we are recreating back into. And that's why it's time for the kings and queens to rise. So I'm not leaving you out either, kings. It's time for the females to put your kings on the pedestal also, but don't leave yourself out. Because a lot of times we put our males down, especially for those who are in the male bodies, because there are females that carry more masculine energy, but I'm referring this to more of the kings and queens that were holding more, one that holds more masculine energy and one of the females that hold feminine energies, that things do not come into balance, and how things are that, one has more power over the other. This has nothing to do with one having more power over the other. This is where we are balanced within ourselves. And there's no codependency where the other person is dependent on the other one. Oh, me never hear from one is trying to have control over the other. with anything. This is about how we are coming into new partnerships, okay? Everyone is going to, who chooses to be on that path, to be in divine partnerships, okay? No more fake relationships and, you're just staying in it just because of something financial, or because of children, or because it's convenient, or it just feels good at the moment and that's it. No, this is about being true and vulnerable with one another, and your own freedom and sovereignty, and in true love, because true love is what really keeps us going. And every time I think about, so much people are not in love, they're not, and that not being in love thing, is what's caused chaos on the planet. Because I did say to this young lady, I said, what do you think has been one of the things that's been missing on this planet that has caused so much, why there's so much chaos? And I said, it's love. And I'm not talking about, the human love, saying, I love you. When I do love all of you, I do. But I'm talking about being in love, because that's like a highest form of expression, But one of the greatest things is not only when you're in love with someone, but even when you're in love with yourself, and then you're in love with God, because it's a triad. And all that love is what we're doing to recreate a new energy. That third energy is what's facilitating for a lot of twins to come together. You see, to come together, and that frequency is stronger and more powerful, because as we're anchoring that template of what love is, with no conditions placed on it, it's going to expand on the earth. But more people are now becoming more awakened, and as more become more awakened, that's when more twins are coming together in the physical sense, because it's a powerful energy. It's a powerful. You know that song by Celine Dion, "The Power of Love"? The power of love, what it does. Do you know when you're in love that everything works out? Do you know that when you're in love, they're saying that when you're in love that you don't eat, you don't sleep, and all that stuff. You look younger, you feel more fresh, and when you're making love, you feel good. Do you know that we're supposed to be making, at least when I say supposed to, please note that I'm not saying this, that I'm telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that what is natural. We are naturally made to be making love 3-4 times a day. Did you know that? And some of y'all, probably hasn't happened in maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and all of that. And I know some of us are going to a period where you're not, because we got to clear things within ourselves, and there's a separation. I understand. But I'm telling you what is coming up, what is happening, what's coming up, the frequencies, the codes. All of this is happening for the changes that are happening within us. So yes, Patricia, it's a lack of self-love. And the lack of self-love, believe it or not, a lot of it starts from childhood. If you had a parent that was verbally abusive, or you grew up with bullies telling you that you are, deformed, or making fun of you, or so on and so forth. Or sometimes somebody telling you that you're worth it, whatever the case may be. And then they enter into relationships that are a mirror of what, how they grew up. And then the cycle continues. Then they might do the same thing to their children. And then they do that to their children. Their children, do the same thing to them. Or they have some families where one parent shows favoritism more over the other. And sometimes it has to do with the color of their skin. If they think that, this one black, this one white. It even happens even in black families too, where they say this one light skin with this light skin, brown skin thing. It's just a bunch of crap. Because guess what? We were all black. Okay? We were all black like this. Okay? It all started from the blackness, the void, until we became beautiful colors. So all that separation of color of skin and culture, some people think that, you only supposed to, they only want them to be in arranged marriages, and being with, if somebody's Italian or Jamaican or whatever, it doesn't matter. But have any of you noticed that a lot of people are getting into interracial marriages? And then there's some people who place stigma on whether it's two of the same sex, if it's two males. I tell you, the template was shown to me by the Holy Spirit. You may have transgenders that will have children. You know what? They're the gay and trans. They're happier than regular straight people. Okay? They are happier. And this has to do with how God is showing up through, and even if it offends you, it's okay. Let it offend you, because eventually you're going to look at it and you may see it in a different way at a later time. It's okay, because I'm not telling you what belief to have, but a lot of belief systems are breaking down, and the divine is showing us, okay, through each and every one of us as the microcosmic aspect of God and Goddess. How do you show up as love in the midst of what you're experiencing, in what you see or feel? How are you being that love? Not even just showing it, just being it, you know? If only we took the time to focus more on love than what's on the TV. I couldn't tell when last if I watch TV, it might be just a little movie here and there, but I don't watch anything else because I'm not interested. Why am I going to feed my spirit with that? Why am I going to watch a scary movie to get scared? Why don't we focus more on love? If we were to focus more on love, a lot more things would change. And I understand and know that it's hard to think of love when you have the bills to pay and all that stuff. But you know something? Oh, how do I say this? Surrender. I have to surrender too. Surrender to the things that we do not have control over. Okay? Surrender. And as you surrender, you allow the Holy Spirit to guide you to when it's time to do something physical. And then the Holy Spirit might reveal something to you as a sign post to what to do. Align yourself with what you're choosing to experience and stay focused on it. Stay focused on it and then let it go. And then let it go. Because we're releasing concepts from our parents that you only work hard to attain the things that you need to have. Well, what if you attain things that you had without working hard for it? How about the power of manifestation? Even in the beginning, that was the only chapter in the Bible that Spirit had me refer to over and over, and besides 1 Corinthians 13, as far as creation. You are a co-creator of the divine. That means you have the power within you. That's the part about becoming powerful, POWER-FULL. That means you're full of power. Okay? As you release yourself from being full of shit. Ha ha. I have to have a little joke to, and release that and bring back the power that you have within you to create and manifest. Do you know, as you speak it, feel it, align with it, you make it happen. Okay? And allow yourself to feel that love and to be that love and to recreate that love and to just keep on bringing things more into manifestation. I will do another live again where I really want to talk about manifestation and what it means, manifestation of miracles and how you can create miracles in your life, just like a genie in a bottle. That's right, you see? But it all starts from within you. It all starts from within you. It's like there is a saying, they say you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink it. But what if you lead yourself to where you can be, and also to bring things into your own reality? I even refer to, I don't know how to play the game of chess, but Spirit shows it to me all the time like the game of chess. You place yourself like a chess piece somewhere, okay? And you might not know what the next move might be, but you tune in. That's where the feminine energy comes in. You tune in, right? And you allow yourself to receive the message, and don't think that you're crazy. Like, oh no, that can't be it because, that's too good to be true. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. No, listen, the first thought is usually, that's what the answer is. Then you might hear the Spirit say, okay, I need you to take action. Okay, you're doing something in action. So that's how you're aligning what you're being guided to do. Okay, that's where the intuitiveness comes in as the feminine, and then you do something physical with it, and that's where the masculine energy comes in, taking action. So the feminine receives, the masculine takes action, just like when you're having sex, right? You got to be open, and the masculine enters in whatever hole you choose, right? And there's a receiving and a giving. And so as you're receiving, giving, something is being created, something is starting, something is manifesting. That's where the water comes in, the semen, the fluids, everything. I'm putting it in a sexual sense. Yes, if I'm turning you on, great. I'm glad. It's time to get turned on and not turned off. Time to get your engine started. Time to get yourself moving in every way possible. A little bit here, a little bit there. If you know you are lacking something in one aspect and you're feeling it, then ask yourself, what can I do to shift it? What can I do to shift it, okay? And to bring something on in a delightful, delicious, invigorating, exciting, intoxicating ecstasy. Did you know that Mother God created those words for a reason? Ah. Oh. What do you think it does for you? Turns you on. Why is it that anything to do with sex is turned off and it's considered to be dirty and nasty? And don't say that. Don't say that around. No. It's why you're here in the first place, you see? And if we were more open to ourselves in our own you are sexual beings. We were naturally created from sex. How you think we got here? We came into creation through the sexual energy coming from Mother and Father God. You heard me. Mother and Father. It wasn't just Father God. Mother God and Father. She opened herself up as the earth to everything that's blooming and growing and what's prosperous. That's where prosperity comes from, because as you plant what's planted, the seed, right, with the egg, and then as it blooms into something, it's either you're creating a child or children, you know, or you're creating something into your manifestation. So think about what you are creating in this womb space that you have, and that includes males, because males, you do have a womb space. You do. Because you've been females before. Everybody has been everything, okay? And that's why it's so stupid. It is stupid and it is ignorant to be prejudiced or indifferent or any of that. As a matter of fact, you know what else is happening on the planet too? What's coming up? When I say we're all going to be in love with each other, do you know there are more people saying, oh, I'm in love with a woman. Oh, I'm in love with a man. It doesn't mean that it's dirty and nasty and oh, and this, la, 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 la. That's the stories again. If you don't have all the information to really, truly understand what the love of God is, because a lot of things have been misrepresented. It's all about love, the feeling of love, the gravity of love. How many of you have done something in the name of love and all of a sudden something just happened so magically before your eyes? That's magic. That's the true worship of God, the true honeymoon. But like I said, all of this I discuss in the book, and there's more to come. There's more for me to explain it. So because you see, I am the one that's explaining things coming with a feminine voice, and I'm still strong at the same time. I don't take no bullshit. And at the same time, I'm still dainty. And at the same time, I'm filled with joy. And at the same time, I may get tough. And at the same time, I'm going to laugh. And at the same time, I'm going to cry. And at the same time, I'm going to run. And at the same time, I'm going to walk. You know, and it's all of this encompassing together, how you can allow yourself to not only to become more and more empowered, but releasing and letting go of all and most of the old stuff and surrendering at the same time and moving forward and not making any judgments. Okay. Make observations, but not judgments. Feel what you feel. Do not allow yourself to be suppressed by anyone because you choose to do something a certain way, or you choose not to, or you choose, you don't want to go somewhere and say no. You want to do something, say yes. If nobody wants to do it, you go do it by yourself. You know, all these things, you see, be gentle on yourself, be loving with yourself. Okay. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. But if you ever tell them about them parts, tell them about their parts. Don't hold back. I'm getting British on you now too. So anyway, I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to say, I'm going to say some, you're so welcome. You know, I'm here to open the heart space and to get us into a place where shifts, you know, because when shifts are happening, what do I say it again? When shit is happening, shifts are happening. When shifts are happening, shit is happening too. See, it goes both ways. Both ways. So Anyway, hello, my surrogate son. How are you today? I love you. Yes. So anyway, you change your name 3 times. Well, that's good though. That's right. That's good. So today, the full moon in Aquarius. Powerful. Freedom. Freedom. The freedom that we're having within ourselves and the freedom that we're giving to others. What is for the highest and the best for you and me and all of us? Because, you know, God showed me that we always complete that circle. Okay? It starts with you. It starts with the divine. And then it also completes with your beloved or eds, you know? Either way. You just imagine with me now, you know, just be still. Just be at peace right now. Be still and know how the divine is in everything that we do and say and speak. Everything. There is nothing left out. Not labeling bad or good, left, right. You know, all of these things is dichotomy. It's a part of life. And we're going to be at a place where there won't be as much dichotomy. It'll just be one. See? And so visualize each and every one of us that's here now and whoever listens to this afterwards, how we come back to oneness, okay? And how we feel this oneness within ourselves. And it's not where you have to see it ahead of time and say, oh, yes, it's here, it's here. No, it's here in the now. Be present. Be present, because the present, Present, and then we have Present, the present moment, the gift that's been given to you. So many times we give away that gift, or we're not paying attention to that gift because we're too busy worrying about what other people are doing and not staying in our lanes, jumping to conclusions, putting ourselves down, putting somebody else down, you know, whatever the case may be. Be present in every moment. Listen. Listen with, yes, you have the physical ears, but I talk about sacred listening because there's other aspects of listening. It's like you're listening and then you're also hearing something, and then it's also giving you more messages on top of the listening that you have. Okay. In other words, God is always telling you something, and then there's always more messages behind the messages, because wherever God is, so, you know, it's in every form, in different forms, more than one way. It could be through a song I said, it could be something I said, something you said. Do you know sometimes God will have you say something coming to you, it's like, why did I say that? Where did that come from? That was the Holy Spirit, especially if you weren't conscious of it. And we're now at that place where our higher selves is anchoring more and more into our bodies. Do you know what that means? It's powerful. That means that the soul that has had the desire, which we have the higher over-encompassing soul, right? The oversoul of the ever-encompassing soul. Then you have the oversoul. Then you have the they call them the little parts of the soul. It's all coming back together. It desire to know itself. And so I'm giving you this message from a higher perspective. I'm going even higher. It desire to know itself. And the way it desired to know itself, experientially. And so this is how it's knowing itself, through the experience. When you remember more and more of who you are, the heavens rejoice. So now we're rejoicing in heaven and on earth, as above, so below. So let me start out with a little meditation. Things just going to come out the way that it's going to come out. Let me just put a little background thing in here. So that way, I love to play music in the background. You see, I quieted it down just a little bit so I could hear something even more without the music. That's how I shift it. Sometimes I play with the music and sometimes I don't play with the music, because I get different frequencies in different moments in a different way for whatever it is that I'm supposed to do. Now I got to remember now what category I had this in. Okay, now I remember. I'm going to take us back to the woods, to nature. Okay? To the woods with nature, with the drums and the clouds and the sky, because most of us have been shamans where there's a healing energy that we have for ourselves. And it's to recognize and to remember, as we keep going on this path, there are more and more gifts that are returning to us. So any of you, I feel one of you is going through an illness. Okay, I'm picking up on someone on here that's going through an illness. You have the power to heal yourself. You're on a lot of medications and it's time to come off of these medications. I'm not saying to get off of it right now. Allow yourself to know which one you can start coming off of, and allow yourself to be guided to what you can take in conjunction little by little as far as something natural to heal yourself. Okay, you have the power to heal yourself. That's the power that has been granted to you, through you, by God since the beginning of time. Okay, so thank you, Mother and Father God, for bringing us here today on these full moon energies of Aquarius, the Lionsgate portal that's opening up now, that is giving us the opportunity to not only to become even more courageous and authentic with ourselves, that we also speak and reveal how we feel and not hold back, because we're standing in our truth, and we're standing in our truth with love. You know, we're coming across with this in love. I thank you for helping us to understand and to receive more and more divine wisdom that comes into our hearts and souls to know which direction to take. Because there are times that we may not even know where to go and where to be, and you know, and that we just keep reminding ourselves that when we're at that point where we don't know what to do, that's the time to surrender. So thank you, Mother and Father God, for reminding us when it is time to surrender. Thank you for reminding us when it's time to move forward, when it's time to take action, when it's time to let go. Thank you for all the healing that is happening through each and every soul that is listening to this. We're all on a path of healing constantly, daily. And just that we remember that we were created perfectly and imperfectly and perfectly whole, just the way that we are. We thank you for the guidance that we continue to get for those who have children and families, and wherever and however we're needed for whatever jobs that we have and careers we have, that we know that it's all for the benefit for one and all, that even if it's time to let go of a relationship, if it's time to let go of the job, whatever it is, maybe we're thankful for the services that we've provided to one another, and that we continue to use our power of discernment to know when, how, and where to do it, and being at peace with that. We thank you for all the angels and all the spirit guides and our loved ones who have transitioned, and that they're also facilitating and helping with the awakening that's happening on the planet. We thank you for helping us to have more courage with all the messages we receive, and not have fear about the messages that we receive, no matter how we are receiving it. And as we continue to have more strength within ourselves and more power within ourselves, and that knowing, where the prayer continues to be, I know what I know, what I know. And that it's not in a prayer of hope. So I am so gracious and thankful for each and every one of you that is here with me now, as I am forming a circle around us. You know, just pretend that we're holding hands, because I am always holding hands with each person that is around me when I do a prayer meditation. And so as I speak into the tongues and the language of the soul, I speak into the show him yum 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 yum. Ooh. Peace be with you. I love each and every one of you. If any of you would like to have a personal reading, please, you can send me a message, or you can email me at the return of the Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com. Anything that you would like to get assistance with that, just please feel free to let me know. I love you and I appreciate you. Namaste. Peace and blessings.